Let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we're thankful for the beauties of the season. We're thankful that you give us a gift of life and health, and we're appreciative of that. Father, your word tells us to come humbly but boldly into your presence, and this is what we do just now. And so we would ask your guidance as we go over the proceedings of the County Commission this evening, and we would ask that you help us make wise decisions for the betterment of all of our constituency. We ask for a blessing upon our staff. We ask for a blessing upon our men and women in uniform that defend our United States of America. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer, for that. Let's go to roll call.
Commissioner Younger. Present. Commissioner Baker.
Here.
Commissioner Conklin.
Here.
Commissioner Malone.
Here.
Commissioner Rosado.
Here.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Here.
Chairman Hoffman.
Here. Very good. Moving on to 4, that's the agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Rosado, second by Commissioner Malone. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor with an eye?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Moving on to 5, consent agenda.
Move for approval of consent agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Schaefer and second by Commissioner Malone. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor with an eye?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Moving on to 6. Now, I would like to open the meeting up to public comment time. This is a very important time on our agenda. It gives us all an opportunity to hear from all of you. I would ask that during your comments, you address the Board of Commissioners and not any staff or audience members. In order to be respectful of everyone's time in the room, we ask that you keep your comments to 4 minutes or less. Teresa will keep track of our time. When you hear the alarm, please wrap up your comments. If you would like to give us more information, you can always email commissioners or county administrator. When you come up to speak, please tell us your name and address for the record. With that, I will open the meeting up to public comment. Our alarms are in. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and fellow commissioners. I am Bill Hendrian. I'm with MSU Extension. I just want to introduce myself to you all. I'm the interim district director for St. Joseph County, down at our office down the road, and just wanted to put a face to the names and say hello.
Thank you.
Hello, Commissioners.
Welcome.
Pam Riley from the Commission on Aging. I just want to announce again that the COA is putting on a caregiver retreat on Tuesday, September 9th at the Amigo Center in Sturgis from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is a fantastic event for all people who are caring for an older adult or an older adult who may be caring for a child, grandparents raising grandchildren. Everyone is welcome. It is a free event. There will be some great food. There's going to be wonderful speakers and relaxing activities and boat ride and nature hike and all sorts of fantastic things. So I did leave a flyer over on the table. So this is open to our county citizens. So please take advantage of it. Thank
Okay,
you.
one more time.
It is Tuesday, September 9th from 9 to 4
Okay.
at Amigo Center. Thank you.
My name is Ron Adams. I'm on Summit Road, Mendon. People who know me know I can be a little bit slow once in a while, so I'm asking for some clarification from all of you. I've listened to you talk about the amount of money it would cost to film these proceedings, put them up, not live stream, but just put them up so people can see them at their leisure at some point in time. And I'm a bit confused about the concern over the cost. If the wedding venue was a good, solid business decision by the county, you should be making enough profits that you can pay for that several times over. You didn't have to buy the land like a private startup would. Okay, that came from the taxpayers. All right, you don't have to worry about paying property taxes. All right, like a startup business would. You should be making money hand over fist if that was a prudent decision on your part. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening. How's everyone tonight? Gordon Evelsizer, Florence Township. I see we've got some interesting information in our minutes tonight. I was going to come and ask how we were doing on the lawsuit, but it looks like we might be having a closed session on that. Just so you know, I'm still interested in it, so if we have a settlement, I want to know. Thank you.
Paige Willis, 104 East Hatching Avenue, White Pigeon. I have a couple of things to discuss. I would like to know who is on the county bargaining team, and I would also like to know who reports directly to the county commissioners. Every month I have been coming in and discussing how 20 out of the 22 boards or committees within St. Joseph County do not have their meeting minutes online. There's a section under Open Meetings Act which is 15.269, Section 9, Article 1, which states each public body shall keep minutes, and they are going to be open to the public for public records. So if the meetings are open to the public, the minutes should be as well. In May, the County Planning Commission meeting was canceled with no public notice at all. I showed up and they told me it was canceled when I got there. It was not on your guys' website. Also looking at your agenda and also attending the County Planning Commission meetings, because I attend those as well. The annual report was not given at a public meeting. It was just given at your guys' work session. So we need an overview at that at one of these meetings, not just at your work session. Thank you.
Did you say bargaining team?
Yes.
Very good. Anyone else like to address the commission? Come on up. Welcome.
Hey, Deborah Davis, your elected prosecutor at Cleveland Township, Fair Road. Just wanted to say that we have 5 prosecutors in the prosecutor's office right now, albeit Abby took the bar, and so we have to wait for her results, but under the court rule, she is committed to practice with a supervising prosecutor helping her along. So she's been doing great. She's been here full time. So we are at this point fully staffed. So it took a minute, but we're here. One of the things that I do want to bring to the commission's attention, though, is that we are working on budgets, which is an interesting process. There is a situation where the district court and the circuit court have their case management systems, and the circuit court is switching to the one that the state is sponsoring, called JIS. And by doing that, the state's paying for it, and they're paying for the implementation costs on the court side of it. And you guys graciously agreed to allow my office to have the money to pay for the integration on our side of it, so that our software talks to the courts. The problem is, district court is choosing to stay with JMS, which is a different, smaller, family-owned company. I don't know a lot about it, but what I do know is, in order for us to get an integration with that, it would be either $25,000 as the implementation cost, as opposed to 10 that JIS would already pay, and it would be between $3,000 and $5,000 a year, every year, for our maintenance costs on our side. In addition, district court side has to pay to make the integration, and they have to pay an annual fee. I don't know what those are. The district court administrator is looking into it, but I'm telling you from my side of it, I think this is a huge issue, and nobody's really talking about it, so I'm bringing it up to your attention. If they switch, district court agrees to switch to JIS like Circuit is right now, we don't have to pay an extra dime on our side of it. That the 10 that we already spent covers any of the courts that are using GIS. And the annual fee, same, we don't have to pay anything different. But if the district court is permitted to stay with the current system, we're either going to continue to have to be hand typing in everything and really inefficient, or pay a lot of money in order to get it integrated. So I would ask that you speak with district court and see if we can get some agreement to go to JIS, which is sponsored by the state and paid for by the state, and that we already have the integration paid for and factored into our budget. So, thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Anyone else want to address the question? All right. Moving on to presentations. St. Joseph County Strategic Plan. Ms. Allison. Yeah, are we online?
I'm right
No,
here.
I'm sorry.
I know, I have all my hair on, so you didn't know.
You did something different over here. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so nice to be back with you in person. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. It says final presentation here. I do want to note that this is my final in-person presentation to you. I still welcome if you have, again, suggested revisions, changes. There is one part of the plan I'll talk through that I do feel we need to continue massaging and workshopping, but I'd say optimistically we're 90% of the way there. So since this is the first time that the public is seeing the plan in its 90% completion state, I want to take some time to briefly review it with you and also talk about the process we've been following with staff over this visit, over the last couple days, to prepare your team to be prepared to implement this plan and work with you on reporting on its success. Sorry, first time using PowerPoint today. So what are my goals today? I know you have a packed agenda, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to give this process and this investment the time it deserves and merits. My goal is to present the 90% version of this plan to you for your suggestions. Should you have none, I do realize there's the opportunity to adopt this evening. If you do have further comments, revisions, I welcome them. I'd love to hear them so that we can get this document to a place of consensus-driven adoption. Next, I want to review what we've been working on behind the scenes with your team so that they are speaking a common language across departments as they bring you updates on this plan implementation, presuming that it is adopted. And lastly, talking about mission and vision statement and the pieces we need to continue to do to get those across the finish line. So your plan in full. We have been working very hard since we initially started this process back in March through our in-person and remote interviews, focus groups. It's been an exhaustive process. I hope you know in the beginning of the packet all the names of individuals and organizations that were a part of this process. I want to just give you kudos. Not every community has such vested buy-in. The fact that it was so easy to get community members and leaders across your community involved in this process really speaks to how much they value being asked for their input and how much they believe in the capacity the county has to improve quality of life here. So we took it down from over 70 possible initiatives to 49 across 8 goals. Now again, my role as facilitator and assembler of the plan is not to tell you what to do, but to take the final destination that you've told me through our process you'd like to reach in 5 years' time and give you a roadmap of how you may get there. And again, as policymakers, your role in the future is to help staff prioritize which of those 49 initiatives they should be prioritizing year to year, and then working with them to identify the budget or resources necessary to make those goals happen. So what does this mean for you? I never like to sign my name or put my vote to something without fully understanding the consequences for myself. So I owe you, as the policymakers, an explanation of what it means for you if you adopt this document, either with some revisions or as it stands. First, you're signing off that you understand where each of these 8 goals come from, that it ties back to the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which we've discussed over multiple workshops. That you are directing staff clearly to work on addressing each of these 8 goals and supporting it over the next 5 budgets. Now that doesn't mean writing a blank check. That means that accountability expectation that staff will find the most resource-effective ways to implement these goals. So again, not a blank check, but saying, we endorse these goals. We see the value they will have for our community members and pledge to following these goals for the next 5 years. Now, I realize you're elected to 4-year terms, so there is a 1-year overlap there, where some of you may choose to continue your role as public servants, some of you may pass the baton and choose to pursue other things, whatever they may be. But within the time that you are on this county board in these seats, you are saying, I understand, and we're committing to the long goal. This is different. This is different from your traditional year-to-year budget process, where you say, this is what we're working on 1 year into the future. But because this spans multiple years, you have the capacity to make a real impact on the lives of county residents. You're also stating, with this permission and endorsement of these goals and initiatives, you expect reporting. You expect departments to come back to you in their reporting and show you demonstrably through their data and through the benchmarking that they are working on these things and that they're succeeding in reaching these goals that you two have shaped and agreed to. And then lastly, it's really important to me that the way, and obviously I helped you as a facilitator, not about me, but shaping it here, it's important to me personally that government is accessible for its people, which means that when we sign off on things, it's very clear what it means to the public. So what I hope you take away from this meeting this evening is a clarity, an understanding of what these 8 goals are, and the ability that if someone asked you tomorrow and said, hey, what did you vote on last night? You could say, well, actually, we have 8 goals. Here's what they are, and here's why they matter. This is how St. Joseph County is showing up for its residents and ensuring the high quality life we have here remains that way. All right, so what does this mean for staff? Obviously, this is a collaborative effort. You guide policy, you guide the budget, but staff are the doers. They're the folks that show up every day and get things done. So what does this mean for them? What are you mandating by a vote this evening? Their agreement that the board is signing off on these 8 goals, which means that staff need to roll their sleeves up and in addition to the job that they show up every day and do, work toward these goals. You're also endorsing the fact that you as a board trust county staff to accomplish this. You understand that your role is to represent your constituents, to guide policy and set the budget, and that they have been hired or elected into the roles based on their skills and expertise to do the job, and that you trust them to accomplish this. And then lastly, that you want departments to do this effectively and collaboratively. I realize and respect that there is a desire on this board to meet county mandates efficiently and with cost restraint. I respect that, and I do believe that this plan and the goals within it can be accomplished with that in mind. So how do you mandate that and pass that on to staff? Stressing the importance of cross-departmental collaboration. It will be more effective for departments to achieve these goals if they do so together, rather than remaining in silos and all trying to work on the same problems from different angles. So, a brief introduction to the plans which you have seen, which has not changed significantly since it was introduced to you in July. So what we have in the beginning of the plan is some organizational context. We do provide some data and benchmark where St. Joseph County is at this moment in time. Now, the challenge with any time we put data in print is it is obsolete and out of date as soon as we hit print. But we want to be sure that future people who read this plan over the next 5 years have the context to understand why these issues are what they are. Especially important to note, housing was one of the major issues we heard again and again throughout our conversations with stakeholders, community leaders, elected officials, and staff members. The concern that the quality of life people love here in St. Joseph County is not so accessibly in reach anymore because of the challenge to retain your youth and ensure they have a place to live and raise their own families in turn in St. Joseph County. Because of that, we want to support those measures with the data to really make sure crystal clear if a new board is elected 4 years from now, they have that benchmark data to look to. We also want to provide the foundation of why. We don't want these goals to be abstract. We want them to be grounded in the data that drove you to recognize them as the 8 goals you're working on. When I was here in April, I know it was some time ago, we went through a values exercise where all members of the county board and all staff members in attendance, as well as we continued this exercise with lower level staff members and secondary managers, we all agreed upon what are the values that we want to represent between one another and in our interactions with the public. And the 4 core values that were landed on were honesty, respect, integrity, and professionalism. That these would be the values that every employee and every elected official shows up with every day. And I think we can agree that those are all admirable. Nobody would have any complaints about having a positive interaction that included any of those values. In that same workshop, we worked through mission and vision. And again, I know it was a few months ago, so just as a very quick refresher, Vision is the future that we could have if we had no constraints. This is sort of our goal if we were aiming for the stars. Mission is the promise. This is the reality. This is what we actually hope to achieve. It's the promise we make to our constituents and to the folks we serve. Now, we did work through this process, and there were draft mission and vision statements in the first iteration of the plan. I did not get significant feedback from staff or from County Board of Commissioners on those mission and vision statements. I feel very strongly that this mission and vision statement which you adopt needs to be your own. It should not be my own that I suggest to you. As a result, since we didn't land on final consensus between those 3 mission and 3 vision statements, I would recommend that at a time in the future at a work session, I provide the resources for you to facilitate a deeper dive into workshopping that mission and vision statement. Your mission and vision statement drives what you're aiming for and what you promise your residents. So it's critical that we don't feel kind of halfway about it. It's really important, since it is such an important driving part of your identity and the promise you make your residents, that you own it and are fully a part of it. So I would recommend, if this document is approved, that mission and vision statements are finalized before the end of the year. And I am, of course, happy to support by providing a recommended agenda and tools for a facilitator to use in a workshop with you, as well as remote support if there's need to massage or come to finality on what the language might look like. But again, I didn't feel it was really appropriate with the importance of this to thrust my own opinion into the mix. Now, we also include the SWOT analysis in the plan, and I do this community by community based on their perspective. So I really like to frame strategic plan documents as solutions oriented, not hyper-fixating on the bad, but focusing on the good that we want to achieve. However, I leave it up to my client communities. If they feel that it serves as a helpful reminder to reiterate in writing why these 8 goals are here, I include it. And it was the perspective of leadership in earlier drafts that we included. So we have our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats listed out in the plan, and the 8, which are highlighted, tie directly to the 8 goals in the plan. So it shows you clearly where they stem from. Throughout the plan, you'll see terminology, including goals, objectives, initiatives, and data measures. I always like to say consider it as a funnel. A goal is very broad. There are many ways to accomplish it. The objectives are those mini goals within it. They're getting a little bit clearer. Initiatives are clear, measurable checklist items. And data measures, these are suggested, so you may find ones that are the appropriate fit for your county as an organization, but your data measures are the proof in the pudding. These are the tools that staff can report back across the organization to demonstrate that these initiatives are working and they're reaching the larger goals. For each of the 8 goals, there is plenty to work with over the next 5 years. And then briefly before I close, I'd like to revisit each of the 8 goals in plain language. I want it to be incredibly clear and accessible to everyone in the room today, not just you who have spent a lot of resource and time discussing and shaping these goals, but what these goals are and why they matter. Goal number 1 is to preserve the rural identity that sets St. Joseph County apart. A recurring theme that I've heard through this process is how important it is to locals that St. Joseph County does not become a Kalamazoo, but that it remains the rural, intergenerational, connected community that many of you grew up in. And the best path forward we have found through this process is to ensure that there are direct avenues to preserve your rural character, foster pride in place, and that sense of community that spans across generations, so that people feel tied to this place and this place is actively protected. And some might say, okay, well, where is the mandate that the county does this? You'll note across these themes, we're looking at the mandate of what the county does, the services it provides, but we're also looking at how can it enrich county residents' quality of life. Perhaps the county alone cannot solve these problems, but you do hold tremendous sway and influence over the outcomes. And many of these issues that were brought forward to us were brought forward by community members, local government officials across villages, cities, townships, and from your business community, saying, please do something about this. We love it here, we live here, we've lived here for generations, this place matters to us. Goal number 2 is ensuring that you retain, and I was so thrilled to hear that Debbie's department is fully staffed now, retaining that level of full employment. Making sure this is a workplace that has high quality staff that are engaged, that are not burning out, making this a place that's an employer of choice. You are never going to outpay the competition, but can you make this the best quality place to work so that people want to work here? Goal 3, Planning for your facility needs, which are actively underway, recognizing that you have been handed an opportunity, which fortunately or unfortunately your predecessors may have not addressed, to invest in the facilities which the county owns and operates its government out of. And recognizing that this is a major investment, but it's providing credibility and longevity for the spaces which hold St. Joseph County's government, which increases the county's credibility with its residents, the ability to attract and retain talent, and to uphold its long-term responsibility as stewards of the county's resources. Goal 4, this one is similar to Goal 1 in that it has to do with pride in place, but the themes of the sustainability of the economy came through in our conversations with employers and with folks talking about how do we make this a more desirable place for young people to stay and to want to return to if they grow up here? How can we get them to come back? Really looking at your outdoor recreation opportunities as a major economic driver opportunity. How do you leverage what you already have here? How do you see the things that others see as a destination, as a gem, see it that way yourself and continue to invest in it for the betterment of the county as a revenue generator and for the quality of life of residents? Goal 5, work towards addressing the housing shortage. Realizing this is not solely a St. Joseph County problem, it's a problem everywhere, but also recognizing St. Joseph County faces the risks just as private employers do. And as a result, tackling this challenge from a systems level approach and being a part of the solution will have better outcomes for the communities within St. Joseph County. Goal 6 surrounds funding. Many of the services provided at the county level of local government stem from federal and state funding. So implications at the federal or state level directly impact quality of life for St. Joseph County residents. The county needs to take a proactive approach to understand how programs and services are funded and how they may be impacted to ensure resiliency in which services you provide, and really understanding if service lines need to change, what are the biggest priorities. Being aware of it so you can be proactive rather than reactive. Goal 7 addresses talent attraction, specifically around youth. Another major theme we heard in the community was we don't want our youth to leave, or if they leave to go away for higher education or another experience, they come back to St. Joseph County to raise their families. Engaging in this goal ensures you have a talent pipeline, it protects the integrity of your school districts, and it helps your workforce, as well as enriching and maintaining the civic life that's so important in St. Joseph County communities. And lastly, increasing public trust, so that people see St. Joseph County as a reliable, transparent, and responsive source of information. We don't want people to come up and assume that St. Joseph County has ill intent. We want to lead with transparency and integrity so that people see their tax dollars at work and trust the outcomes. Now, as a final note, I want to talk about what I've been doing with staff. Obviously, I'm here today for your insights, feedback, and questions on this document from a policy adoption standpoint. But we've been doing significant legwork with staff as well to ensure that they are prepared to carry this document across the finish line. So over the last few days, as well as last few months online and in person, we did lead an implementation workshop, best practices on how to fit your day job and strategic plan implementation into the picture. And you'll be pleased to hear part of that process that I recommend and suggest to employees is making this document adaptive and flexible. Just because you're considering adoption of a 5-year plan does not mean that new issues might not arise. Plenty of things have happened in the last 5 years that we certainly didn't foresee coming. So part of this process is educating and building a framework for staff members to manage new and incoming issues in a thoughtful way, just as we address the 8 goals and problems within the strategic plan. I've also worked with, I believe it's 15 members of the leadership team, both elected and appointed, on some one-on-one leadership coaching on how they can be stronger managers, as well as this morning we led a team workshop on how to work collaboratively more naturally. When you look at county governments as a service provider, we tend to be more siloed because of the nature of the services we provide, which are so diverse and often geographically spread out across multiple county offices. How do we make this process, which we gain so much from, of coming together and working collaboratively across departments, the new muscle memory and the new norm? And lastly, I do hope that this is not the last time you hear from me. As I said, I would love to be a part remotely of supporting your mission and vision statement finalization. I will also plan to have follow-ups with staff to adjust and adapt this plan as needed as a part of my contract.
Additionally, I know that sometimes staff members change. One of the ways that I support my clients on an ongoing basis, regardless of what changes may happen from a hiring or elected standpoint over the next 5 years, is offering complimentary resource support and one-on-one introductions to the plan should new members join the Board of Commissioners or new department heads be elected or appointed in that time frame. So with that, I'm happy to receive any feedback, add clarity, or address any questions you may have about the plan, or react in any other way to any questions you might have for me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Allison. We appreciate that presentation and everything that you've done. Any questions for Allison about the strategic plan? Yep, Commissioner Schaefer.
I've got a comment. Thank you, Allison. We've really come a long way on this project. I remember 6 or 8 months ago when you individually called us, we sent out surveys to all staff members. We had a couple of work sessions where we did documents and posters, and they did a nice job pulling it all together. But I think the most important thing is I've looked at strategic plans over the years. It's not just a plan that we're going to put on a shelf and say, oh, well, we'll address it in 5 or 8 years again. I appreciate you saying that it's a living document, it needs to be massaged. And I especially support the idea that you're going to help us, should we collectively decide, of course, to help revise the mission and vision statement. I think we have a good foundation. I'm not sure maybe it needs to be changed much, but at least we need to go on record for saying that we adopted a look at that sort of thing. So thank you for helping us do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else with any comments, questions? I will say, Allison, we appreciate your time. Hopefully we'll see you again, obviously, because it is a living document, as Commissioner Schaefer said. I also want to thank Teresa and her staff for going through. I mean, I know going through strategic plans is a big deal. We do it as a commission because we really do want to try to see the forest through the trees. You know, it's very easy for staff and for commissioners and really community members to kind of get bogged down in the day-to-day events that kind of filers that we put out. This gives us an opportunity as an organization to look beyond that and try to do some, forecasting and kind of put out a vision of where we see the county going. And I certainly appreciate you doing that and helping facilitate that. So thank you so much. Thanks to the staff as well. Very good. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Moving on. 2024 Road Commission Annual Report presented by Eric Schaefer and John. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Before I get started on the report, and you all do have a copy of the report in front of you.
Yep.
I should have expected that, but I would like to introduce the County Commission folks that I have with me. I have Dave Myers, Vince Mifsud, the newly appointed under your consent agenda tonight, Mr. John Beppes, and of course our Managing Director, John Lindsay. Rod Shupp could not make it tonight. He wanted me to make sure that I apologize to you for that. Something about a 65th anniversary celebration for the chamber down there. Well, that's Sturgis, right? I wanted to also point out that John and I spent 6 years, my 6 years as a county commissioner together, and I don't even know how many years we spent together as a road commissioner. But welcome back, John. Just wanted to make sure to say that. As we're going through this report, I want to remind you that this report is something that's actually required. It's a state requirement. We have to, under Public Act 151, we have to make this report to you every year. Having said that piece of it is the second half of this. The first half is kind of introducing you to, or reintroducing you to the Road Commission and kind of some of the stuff that we have accomplished in 2024, as well as a little bit of what's coming up in 2025. So the second page in there, the 2024 overview, it does talk about some strategic highlights, some financial highlights, and looking ahead. And I would like to start out a little bit with just highlighting a bit of the financial highlights. Something that you may not be aware of, but that's very important for us, is that there was an increase in the road tax in 2017 that has gone a long ways towards the cost of improving roads, but it's not quite there. And the state legislature is currently working on 9 bills to increase the funding to get to that point where we won't fall behind in the state. Okay? So it says there, we are encouraged that both parties in Lansing have recognized the need for increased road funding and that the House has passed 9 separate bills that would fix this. Just want to make sure you knew that, and we're aware of it. Strategic highlights. One of the things that I would like to point out to you is that we received in 2024 close to $500,000 in an Eagle grant to apply a crumb rubber chip seal. This is something that is still kind of at the experimental stage, using crumb rubber. The reason that we are able to get this money, we've now done this for 3 years, is because Entech, the rubberizing, the tire recycling company that's located just south of us, just south of White Pigeon, is so close that the transportation to get this crumb rubber allows us to get grants that we wouldn't, that puts us ahead of some of the northern counties, okay? But the thing I want to underline here is that our work crew, if you can imagine putting down asphalt that isn't just stone and tar, but adding rubber to it, is not a simple process. It takes special workers, it takes special equipment, and our crew picked that up on their own. And because of that, we were able to increase the number of miles from 12 to 24 because we did it in-house. So anyway, I want to pat them on the back. It's not the board, this is our workers. And finally, looking ahead, in 2025, this year obviously, we will see the replacement of the Prairie Corners Bridge and the construction of the roundabout at Butts Road. Funding has been secured for the replacement of the Farron Road Bridge in 2026. For those of you that were here a couple of years ago when I came to one of your executive committee meetings, and I basically had my hair on fire, talking about the fact that the biggest hole that we have in this county is funding these bridges that are falling apart. I can now tell you that the fire extinguisher's been put on my head and we are okay, all right? And it's largely due to the fact of Garrett Myland, our engineer, now going after grants, and he now has gotten more than $20 million in grants for us. And one of those is the Farron Road Bridge replacement, in addition to the Prairie Corners Bridge that's coming in now. So of those bridges, we were worried about the covered bridge, okay? There's still the Constantine Road Bridge that we need to work on, but this is something that I no longer have this big, huge economic fear that I used to have about this. So anyway, moving on, we can flip the pages on Meet Our Commissioners, but I do want to talk about where the 2024 revenues come in. Obviously, the biggest source of revenue for us is the MTF, the Michigan Transportation Funds. The second one is federal aid grants. The third one is the countywide millage that got renewed last year. Number 4 is township contributions. You know, we have to get a 50% match from the townships to work on local roads. And this last year, there's numbers in here that we'll go over, but it was $1.2 million that came in from them. And then finally, of course, we have the county contributions, which last year, thank you, very much, but last year was larger than normal because of the contribution that you made to restore the covered bridge. And then there's some other sources that are minor. Now, actually, one of those other sources, I was trying to think about what it was. And one of those other sources is recovering money from insurance companies from people that hit our height limiters on our covered bridge.
Business is good, huh?
It never ends. All right, so you can see that the expenditures, we'll go through this a little bit, but I'm not going to, we're going to flip the page, meet our 2014. There have been some changes to that. But I would like to point out the roads that were done. And the next number of pages, primary road asphalt reconstructed, tells you page or road by road, township by township, what the money was spent on. Local roads, chip and seal, local road asphalt overlay, seal coat. If you want to know where the road improvements happened last year, that'll tell you road by road by road. And then of course the last, there's also the rubberized chip seal, countywide crack sealing, re-graveling. The last page on that is the 2024 project summary that breaks down the various types of construction that happened and the total cost. Now let's go to the actual fiscal year annual financial report. This is the report that is put together, that's required by the state. It's put together by our staff, reviewed by our financial folks, and there's some very, very important information in here, of course. Okay? If you turn to page 3 of 27 of that, the biggest thing that I want to point out is a very rare thing for county road commissions, and that is under long-term debt at the bottom of that, bonds payable 0, notes payable 0, vested vacation and sick leave. That is our employees that have vested vacation and sick leave. Okay, at $155,000 is one of the lowest in the state. This is a very rare thing for county road commissions not to have debt. So, we want to point that out. If you turn to, page 4 starts to point out where the sources of revenues come from. The first page on page 4 is the state and federal sources. We have the countywide millage. We have the federal sources. We have bridge work that was done for South Fisher Lake Road Bridge last year. And then there's other sources for that. Then we have the Michigan Transportation Fund. And then under the other are grants. We received a grant from the MEDC for the covered bridge and from Eagle for the crumb rubber chip seal. That totaled $1.65 million. So total state and federal sources, $11,218,000. Turning to page 5, you'll see the contribution from local units. The first one there, the city and village, we do some work for when asked. We do some work for cities and villages, and that's strictly a pass-through. We don't make any money off of it, but we don't lose any money off of it. So last year we did a little over $200,000 of work, a lot of which was done here in Centerville. And then we have the township contributions. That's the allocation fund, and like I said earlier, those township contributions amounted to $1.1 million last year. So that was what we matched to do the township's local roads. Interestingly, we made $140,000 just in interest for thanking Teresa and her crew for managing those funds for us and my class. And then the other financing sources, of course, the county appropriation, which last year amounted to $700,000, $500,000 of which went to help with the covered bridge, and then $200,000 went to the failed road and bridge replacement programs. Statement of expenditures. You can see under structural and maintenance improvements to roads, we spent close to $17 million. I think the one thing that I'd like to point out on this page is that in a budget of $19 million, legally we could spend we could spend 10% of that on, or 1.9 million on just administration. And our administration fees, as you can see, our administration expenses, you can see there, is $653,000. Very low. Finally, page 7 of 27. What I would like to point out here is that this is showing the fund balance increasing. And the reason that we are doing that is because of the matching that we have to come up for these grants that we get. So the Farron Road Bridge, the safety grant, okay? In order to get that, we said that we would match 20% and they would give us 80. We would prefer 10 and 90, but we wouldn't have gotten it at that. So Garrett Myland, our engineer, put in a 20% match on that. But that means that we have to come up with that 20%. And that bridge is, help me out here, John. $6 million. $6 million means that we have to figure, and that's just a guess at this point. We have to figure that we need 1.2 million to match. Okay. Prairie Corners, we had to come up with $300,000 in the matching grant for that. And this fairly big news here. I think you're all aware of the North River Road problem that we have. No, if you don't, we have a problem on the North River Road, US 131 intersection. It's created a big traffic problem down there. I won't go into that, but it looks like we are going to get from Congressman Wahlberg federally $6.4 million to do that, to reconstruct that road. We figure it's an $8 million project, and that one is also is that a 20% match too, John? 20%. Another 20% match on that one. Now, having said that, if a $6 million project comes in at $7 million, it's still, their 80% also goes up. It's not like we're stuck at the 80% from the previous. Their share will actually go up just like ours. That's big news. So anyway, I'd like to thank Congressman Wahlberg for that. I think I'm done unless you got stuff.
Oh, we got stuff.
Oh boy.
Thank you for that report. Very well put together and phenomenal. Any questions? Or
I have one question, Mr. Chairman. The Congressman Wahlberg's numbers, they're not reflected on here yet.
No.
Not received.
Not received, but
Still pending approval from his committee, correct?
Still
President.
from the president, correct. Now, having said that, and something I did forget is, if that doesn't come through, one of the things that we are still working on is the Safe Streets for All grant program. Hopefully you all were able to get involved with this great Safe Streets for All stuff that came out. Maybe not, but this is a state program, and it's a safety thing, and this North River Road definitely fits into that. So if the funding doesn't come through from Wahlberg, then we will fall back on Safe Streets for All.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any other questions?
Just a question, and maybe John or Eric. The Tri-County Health Department has a grants award safety program for our Amish community. We've had a number of tragedies this past year relative to buggy vehicle accidents. Are we tied into that program at all?
Yes, we are. Garrett sits on that. Or no, is it Ed? Ed sits on that. Ed Klein. He sits on that committee. We had a presentation from them with their concerns, and we'll be working with them going forward.
Will there be some kind of a summary reporting of that so we kind of know what's going on?
It'll be from them probably.
Well, okay, I just didn't know the firsthand what
Yeah.
other committees out there. But thank you.
Yeah, to your point, Commissioner Schaefer, I believe that our grant cycle ends at the end of September, and supposedly through the Branch Hillsdale St. Joseph County Health Agency, they're going to come back and do a report for us also on that. So we should get more information.
Beautiful, thank you.
Commissioner Holmes?
Good evening, Eric.
Hey,
Road Commissioner, we have a pickup with a plow. Do you have a pickup with a plow on it?
yes, sir.
All right, thought so, just verifying. The reason I'm asking is the reoccurring thing, I've asked it before, but it's the number one phone call I've been getting because of the people that cannot measure up when it comes to the covered bridge. It was said in the past that you have to take a plow truck, back it down to the covered bridge to be able to plow that to it. Would it be cheaper to run a truck out there 10, 12 miles round trip with a plow on it and put another height limiter out? Because they get themselves in a situation, they can't back out the causeway because they have vehicles they can't control. Would it be cheaper in the long run for the road commission just to run a pickup with a plow out there?
That's how we do it.
To the north?
It's actually how we do it now. We take that pickup truck with the plow
Well,
on it.
the last time I asked, I was told to use a big truck, and that's why it has to be.
I thought it
right
was a
from
small
the
one.
bridge,
Maybe.
is what I was told.
John, is that?
We back the big truck down with a height limiter, plow from there. The pickup does take it from the covered bridge out to the height limiter. But you
Okay.
can't get any sand salt on it with the pickup. The other concern or issue with putting the height limiter at Paul's Point is they're still gonna hit it, but now they're gonna be doing 55 miles an hour. So it doesn't do us any good to back it up there. I mean, I understand what you're saying about them turning around, but we feel that the risk, the speed that they will hit that height limiter at then is gonna get even more serious of an accident.
So keep in mind that the height limiter is there to protect the bridge.
Right.
It's doing its job.
And I appreciate that, but like I said, that's the number one question I get about it,
Yeah.
because people love the covered bridge, they want it to exist, they don't want a walking bridge. I mean, there are those that do, but most of them don't, they want that scenic drive, so that's why they're asking, and that's why I'm bringing it to you.
Gotcha.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
I did have a couple questions for you, if that's okay. So I've heard in the past that the marijuana tax, part of that from the state is shared with the road commission. Is that not true at all? So I know
It is true.
Okay,
We
so
get money from the pots.
what is that?
Apparently, I don't know.
In the financials, how is that recorded?
So it comes through the MPF formula, I could get that number for you.
That,
but
if you
it's-
could, that's fine. I don't want to put you on the spot. I was just wondering how that. I didn't see it in the reporting. I didn't know if that was.
It's in the MPF fund.
It's a part of that.
It is, and it comes through the formula, but I'd have to dig into it to get.
Is that something that the state can siphon off before it gets to the MPF fund?
If the state can what?
Can siphon that off, because it feels like the state has this pot of money that is supposed to be going to the roads, including maybe part of that marijuana tax, but it just kind of finds other priorities for it instead of it going to our roads.
I can't answer that question, through the Office of Budget and so on and so forth. We get our share, it comes through the formula. But I can't tell you if anybody siphoned off before it gets to the formula. I don't know.
That would be a question for your legislature.
My other question is too, I thought Eric did a great job pointing out that our administration expenses are under 5% of our total budget, which you're talking about 10%. It could go up to 10%. Do we know as far as where we fall? And again, not to put you on the spot, if you want to do that information, that'd be phenomenal. Where do we fall benchmark to the other 82 counties as far as our other authorities?
We don't get a readout of exactly what everybody else's administrative costs are. I mean, I could find it out. Everybody has to do this Act 51 report. I don't know where we rank exactly, but I'll bet we're in the lowest 10%.
Yeah, I would say so.
Guarantee it, we're maybe even better than that. We have, there's some other pages in there where you can see our fringe and overhead rates.
Yeah.
We have one of the best in the state. I mean, we're at a fringe rate of 80%. And our overhead rate, once we got consolidated, we used to, in 2019, our overhead rate was 12%. We're down to 6.5. So we're keeping our overhead rate down, fringe rate down, and administrative costs are as low as, I'm just sure, as percentage-wise, as low as anybody in the state.
And I give a lot of credit to people who have sat up here and where you guys are at before me, but I appreciate the fact that the road commission has reduced that significantly. I know it was kind of very contentious at times going through that process, but I think residents are benefiting from it, so we appreciate that. Any other announcements or anything else?
Yeah, I do. I guess before I announce my personal announcement, just want to point out, Kalamazoo County just spent $64 million on their new road commission
Infrastructure. Yeah.
$64 million. And we spent 2.5, 3.5
$3 million
to get our facility to the point where it'll last for 50 years. That's big. It truly is. It truly is. Cass County. So last announcement.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
You also address, I think it's important for the citizens to hear this, as well as the county commissioners, is the relationship between the road commission and the townships in our county, comparative to others. I think they need to hear that.
Yeah. So I think I've said this before, but I go to county road commission conferences, and I talk about the fact that there exists in this county a roads committee that consists of 3 of the county commissioners, 2 of the road commissioners, and as many of the township supervisors that want to show up at a time. This last one that we had just a couple weeks ago, I think 8 or 9 of the township supervisors showed up, and that has resulted in a relationship, a dialogue relationship that just can't be understated. The difference between the contentiousness between all of those governmental entities just doesn't exist here because of, and largely due to that. And the fellow commissioners that I meet with at these conferences, they look at me and they're like, "You do what?" It's something that seems like really straightforward and something that just ought to be common sense, and it just isn't. So thank you for. It was actually the county commission that started it, so appreciate it. So last announcement. This will be the last time that you guys will have to face me as for the annual report. My term is up. I often joke about it being my sentence is up at the end of the year, but I don't feel that way really. So my term is up, and I'm not going to be putting my name in. I've been doing this for at least 14 years, and
now we're going to embarrass you.
Like we welcome Dave Meyer.
Dave Myers, our road commissioner.
And Ben Smith's the road commissioner.
We just kind of wanted to recognize Eric for all the time that he's put in. As you guys know, he's been 6 years where you guys are sitting. He's been 14 years on the road commission. And the report he gave tonight, I am going to say that most of it because of him. And because of John Inslee also. These guys have got a hold of that place. And I'm wondering what we're going to do when you're gone. Eric's also on the Waste Management Committee. He's on the Board of Public Works along with myself. And I don't know how many times I've called him at home to ask him a question. And he said, "Dave, I'm in a meeting. Can you call me back?" Or I get his wife, "Sorry, Dave, he's in a meeting." Oh, I wrote some notes here just to make sure I don't forget anything. He's been a great mentor to me. I believe his years that he's put in this county have made this county a better place. And we just want to thank you for it.
Thanks. Appreciate that. And you're right, you embarrassed me.
I'll echo that sentiment. I've served on many boards with Eric and known Eric for a while. He is certainly a treasured member of our community. He's what you talk about when you go and you look for community members who serve on different organizations and boards. He is thoughtful, he's intelligent, he's engaged, he has time to really get into the issues, and we appreciate everything. Not only in the road commission, you're not going anywhere, right? You're staying in St. Joseph County?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we'll get you to get on different boards. So we appreciate what we do.
Thank you.
Chairman, I think you just make sure Erin, she's ready to queue up in January for other places.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Anybody can do it, she can.
Yeah, she's got it. Very good. Well, thank you for that report, and keep on doing a great job over there. Moving on to C, 2024 Human Services Commission annual report. Presented by Ms. Laura, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Commissioners, for this opportunity to provide you with an annual update from the St. Joseph County Human Services Commission. I'm Laura Brott, its Collaborative Coordinator, and with me tonight is Stacy Linehan, our Chair, and also of Covered Bridge Healthcare. Commissioners Schaefer and Rosado also are on our board, as well as Pam Riley from the COA, who's sitting up here as well. Each of you has received a copy of our 2024 annual reports, which is also posted online. It outlines the activities of community work groups we participated in within 2024, and it also contains a final report from Housing Coordinator Clayton Lizinski. Within the report, there's also information about our resource connection tools, our help card, resource guide, calendar, resources Google group, Project Connect, and our community resource roundtable. All of these are products of the Human Services Commission. I also provided you with a recent slide presentation about the value of these tools and how they are used in our community. You see, keeping our frontline workers informed of the services available, as well as connected to one another, helps them to make appropriate referrals beyond the services that they themselves provide. Also, our St. Joseph County Resources Google group is made up of about 500 frontline workers from around our county. And this email group is used to share agency updates, events, client needs, and make requests for help to find a resource. Each email actually is an opportunity to collaborate to resolve client issues as well as expose gaps and barriers to services within our county. Currently, we are organizing our 2025 St. Joseph County Project Connect and Veteran Stand Down, which will take place October 3rd, 2025 from 10 to 1 at the fairgrounds. We do have a flyer tonight for that. This is our annual event with up to 70 agencies under one roof for the morning to connect people to resources. It averages about 250 families each year that come. Lunch is served, flu shots and immunizations are available, health screens are on site, and each household goes home with commodities and fresh food box. Our housing task force is also working on a new event, a rental roundtable, to take place in September to inform landlords and housing managers of rental and utility assistance programs that are available. Participants will discover resources, ask questions, and connect with organizations working to support landlords and tenants. In conclusion, we know that people seek help and services in multiple ways. Whether dialing 211, reaching out to a trusted friend, community member, or agency, asking on social media, or Googling the internet. We also know that in small rural communities like our own, our frontline workers like to make warm handoffs when they're helping people. And so this makes it vital to keep our workers, people serving people, up to date of available resources and how to access them. because quite often they're personally handing this person off to someone they personally know. Tools on our website can be accessed in both English and Spanish, and our website has an accessibility tool built in for users with varying site needs as well. The HSC website and its resource connecting events are valuable tools in our county's toolbox for resource connection and barrier reduction. That's all I have tonight. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you for that presentation. Do you have any questions? Yeah, Commissioner Schaefer.
Just a comment. Stace and Laura, thanks for being with us tonight. This is a beautiful report put together this year. Thank you for getting it to us last Tuesday. Executive. And I hope that all of you will put right on your computer the dashboard to be able to plug in for the Human Services Commission. Just see all the wonderful things that are happening right here in our own county. And this Project Connect, that's a must for all of us. We need to take a walk through the barn and take a look at all the various exhibitors that are there, get a little better understanding of all the human services that we have right here within our own county. Access. And the box lunch is great, I might add, so thank you for that nice touch. But it would only take you about an hour or two just to wander through, to take a look and see what is afforded to all the citizens in our community. So I encourage you to put it on your calendar right now so you don't forget. Thank you.
Commissioner Schaefer's buying lunch.
Yes.
Anybody else? All right, well, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, moving on. Katie, County Administrator's Report.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick shout out and thanks to Allison. She has been an absolute joy to work with. I hope she feels the same about us. But I know that staff really appreciated our opportunities to get together and sometimes pause from our daily activities and day-to-day jobs and really kind of think strategically. So we've enjoyed that process. I appreciate Allison. I'm kind of excited to see take shape moving forward. Following the board's approval of the additional funding for the PCE testing at last month's executive committee meeting, environmental consultants were on site this past Thursday and Friday at the jail collecting new samples. Once the results have been analyzed, we're coordinating meeting with Eagle, DHHS, Health Department, and all the applicable players moving forward for where our next action items will be. And we've been actively scheduling departmental budget meetings starting next week. So the budget process is moving forward, and we'll have lots of discussions about that. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Okay, moving on. Committee reports and appointments. Any committee reports? Okay. Business, new business. St. Joseph County Strategic Plan.
I don't have much to add. I think Allison here available to answer any additional questions, but I'm hoping that we could get the plan adopted so that we can start making our steps for moving toward implementation. Maybe with a caveat in there about fine-tuning the mission and vision statement within this year. I'll leave it up to you guys.
Do we have a motion?
So moved as presented.
A motion by Commissioner Malone, second by Commissioner Rosado.
Second.
Further discussion?
Oh, like a deadline on the mission, vision statement, so.
I think that's probably up to us, right? We're just trying to, Commissioner Young was like, asking if we can put like a deadline on us implementing the vision and mission statement, correct?
Want to that end of the, whatever deadline you want to put on that, I think would be useful, so we can make sure it gets accomplished.
But we need to.
Yeah, you tell us when you want to do it by.
Do that, okay. You want that in the,
I'd like to see the motion.
in the motion? You want to amend the motion?
Is there a suggestion as to a deadline?
I think she said before the end of the year. Is that correct?
It's up to you. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I don't want to go any longer than that because.
That is lost, right?
Yeah, that is lost. That
Right,
needs to be done.
if we don't put something in there, we forget about it, and it's not gonna work.
I'd like to amend my motion to include that we would have that fulfilled by the end of the calendar year.
Vision and mission statement.
I second.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion and support to accept the strategic plan, to adopt the St. Joseph County strategic plan with the vision and mission statement being incorporated in that document.
Yes.
Further discussion? All in favor with an aye? Aye. Opposed, the same? Motion carries. Very good. B, Commission on Aging Budget Amendment Request. Ms. Pam Riley.
As you're all aware, the Commission on Aging puts out about 200,000 meals annually for our older adults of the county. And we produce all of that out of our Three Rivers Center. And our dishwasher is 40 years old and not functioning well. And so I'm here today to request a budget amendment to replace our dishwasher so that we can be more efficient and we can clean and sanitize everything that we need to do to produce all these meals. You have received multiple bids. I am requesting the lowest bid, which is $26,627.20 for us to get a new dishwasher.
So moved as presented.
Support. We have a motion by Commissioner Malone, second by Commissioner Schaefer. Any discussion?
So, is the motion changed from what it is here to not exceed 33,000 to 26,000? Is that what we're doing?
I need the 26,000.
I would say 33,000 as presented is what we have. But I'm sure it's up to 33,000?
Yeah, I think what we discussed with the executive at the time was up to 33, but it sounds like since then, she's
Yeah.
narrowed it down.
Yep.
All right, all in favor with an aye?
Aye.
Opposed, the same?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Very good. Thank you, ma'am. C, change in professional service agreement for security entrance. Welcome, Ms. Jen.
Good evening. I'm here today to talk about the change before you. So, as the construction team worked through design, the county was welcoming a new sheriff and a new department. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to engage the new staff to give input and have buy-in of the renovation project. So we kind of put it on a semi-hold waiting for them to come on board. Once they did, we had lots of discussions about the security, about what they saw in the design, and we moved forward with the requests made by the sheriff's department. Now, since then, over the next couple of months, there's been a lot more feedback as far as what other county members think of, what other staff members think, and it was a concern that it might not be the right choice to move to the west side instead of the east side. So as Eckert had delivered the CD documents, we took the time to pause now to make sure that we're doing the right thing for the long term. The cost before you is what it will take Eckert to go back and design to bring the layout you have in front of you, hopefully, up to full construction documents. And you'll see that some of the changes that the team made in order to resolve some of the security concerns was enlarging the entrance to allow more room to have the ability to have all the equipment and everything that they request in there, as well as moving the entrance to north facing so that there was an easier exit and entrance to maintain one location while they still had sight lines there, and adding some masonry block at the front instead of a full height window to also add some additional robust construction to add another layer of protection. So that is what they had come up with, and after talking with the sheriff, they were happy with the changes as much as they can be. And we're here today to ask if that's how you would like us to proceed. And then the second question is if you want that budgeted separate or wait for the competition of bid day to find out the overall price of it. So we can take a moment to budget just the entrance revisions. That will be an additional cost as well. I believe it's $1,200.
I remember being great at doing about $250,000 to change it.
To change it to
The other direction. Change it from this way to this way. For construction costs.
construction side, we actually the change itself is gonna cost?
Not really. We have, like I said, we've increased the size of the entrance and changed some of the orientation, so there's gonna have to be some new figuring with masonry changes and some of the aluminum frames and a lot of the ancillary parts that are touched.
Okay, do we have a motion? Anybody with a motion? None?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Has this already gone through the facilities committee?
Yes.
And what's the report from them? What did they say?
Fiscal resources.
Yeah, fiscal resources.
We spoke about that executive, essentially, just kind of what Jen was talking about in the beginning, under the other sheriff, they wanted the entrance to be on the east side, on the east side. East side is Chad wanted it over here.
And then Chad wanted to change it to the west side.
To the west side.
But the west side is where it's in the figures, the west side is where it's at in the drawing right now.
It's on the west side.
Correct.
And they want to change it to the east side. Yeah. And essentially what came back was it was going to be more secure from the sheriff's office perspective, but from the staffing perspective and kind of a 30 years from now perspective, it was going to be, why did we do this? Because of the parking and a number of other things. And so I know the sheriff's office and Jen works closely with Judge Pettison and staff to try to come to a resolution to accommodate what those questions would be in 30 years. And that's why we made the change that Cordell is now recommending. And it has been signed off by the sheriff's office as far as security first, but also being able to accommodate staff members.
And it's also the last drawing that we saw, that's the final.
That we saw in the
reflection.
set.
Yeah,
That rendering, yes,
Yeah,
that is
that
what,
rendering, yeah.
that's what we're proposing to move forward with this.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the change in professional services agreement and amend the project budget to reflect the change as presented.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Rosado, second by Commissioner Malone. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we can do a roll call. Go ahead.
Commissioner Rosado?
Yes.
Commissioner Malone?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
No.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Conlon?
Yes.
Chairman Hoffmaster? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Commissioner Younger?
No.
Commissioner Hoffmaster?
Yes. I was figuring out last.
Yes, you are.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the Michigan Neighborhood CDBG funding designation memorandum. See.
I'll take that. You didn't say that quite fast enough.
Yeah.
So St. Joseph County is in the process of the application for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, for $300,000 to do neighborhood rehab on 10 homes. 10 homeowners will receive hopefully this grant in St. Joseph County. Some of the areas can be targeted. We're at round 2 of this grant, so there are some areas that we're not able to offer the grant because they've already been awarded dollars from this grant. So we're in the application process, so I've got 3 things before you as part of this motion. It's the designation memo, the grievance procedure, and the anti-displacement and relocation plan. All of these are part of what we have to do in order to be qualified for the grant. So this is part of the process, and once we get through this piece, then we'll have a public hearing on the same in September. So this is the first step to kind of get the ball rolling. The dollars have been designated for us, but we're not awarded yet.
Very good. Do we have a motion?
So moved as presented.
Support. We have a motion by Commissioner Malone, second by Commissioner Schaefer. Any discussion?
Yeah, so you're saying 10 houses, they have to be in the same neighborhood or no?
No. I think I'm trying to think just by memory, but I believe White Pigeon was already awarded, as an example, dollars in this grant. So somebody that lived in White Pigeon wouldn't be eligible.
Right, okay. I just thought that you said it, that it was a neighborhood, like 10 houses in a certain neighborhood. So this is essentially what we kind of got going on.
100%. It's just a different bucket of dollars.
But kind of the same as what we got going on with the money that we like, the road money.
Very good. Any further discussion?
On those dollars, is this gonna be like a deed, are they gonna have that on a deed that they owe so much back like the other?
I'm not even quite sure yet, Rusty, because
Okay.
I haven't gotten through the process yet, but you'll definitely have that information before I ask you to say.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, all in favor with an eye? Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Thank you for working on that. We appreciate it. On to E, historic courthouse resolution, presented by Commissioner Malone.
Thank you, Chairman. We have a unique opportunity that we can have this historic designation, and I will try not to butcher it too much as I read through it. St. Joseph County, a resolution commemorating the 125th anniversary of the historic courthouse of St. Joseph County, Resolution 8-2025. Whereas the historic courthouse of St. Joseph County, located in Centerville, Michigan, has stood as a proud symbol of justice, civic engagement, and agricultural distinction since its official rededication August 1st, 1900, and I already knew that there's architectural shit. Whereas 2025 marks the 125th anniversary of the distinguished landmark, which has served as the seat of the county government and a gathering place for generations of residents. Whereas the courthouse is recognized not only for its role in the administration of justice and local governments, but also for the significant architectural and historical values, earning its placement in the National Register of Historic Places. And whereas countless milestones in the lives of St. Joseph County residents, including trials, public meetings, weddings, and community events, have taken place within its walls over the past 125 years. And whereas the County Board of Commissioners wish to recognize the dedications of the past and present public servants, officials, and community members who have preserved and upheld the courthouse as a functioning and symbolic center of county life. Whereas the 125th anniversary presents an opportunity to reflect on the courthouse's enduring legacy and to reaffirm our commitment to preserving its historical integrity for future generations. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Commissioners of St. Joseph County, by this resolution, hereby honors the 125th anniversary of the historic courthouse and celebrates its continued service to the people of this county. Be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of the August meeting of the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners, and that a commemorative copy be prominently displayed within the courthouse, passed and adopted by the St. Joseph County Board of Commissioners this 19th day of August, 2025. Thank you.
Very good. Can I have a motion?
I move to approve the resolution. Yeah, wait.
Thank you. I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Rosado and second by Commissioner Malone. Any discussion? Very good. We appreciate you reading the resolution, and we appreciate Teresa and the staff for bringing that to everyone's attention. That's a big deal. So we appreciate it, and it's part of the uniqueness of being in St. Joseph County, part of our strategic plan to continue that uniqueness and that rural feel. And I know I remember the first time I came into this place, and it's always neat. I like my kids coming over to the county seat, so that they feel it feels historic. You can really feel the ghost of Christmas past, and it's kind of neat. So I appreciate that. Okay, well we have a motion for a resolution. Do we have a roll call?
It says it is we'll just do it. If you need it,
All right. Commissioner Conklin.
Yes.
Commissioner Long.
Yes.
Commissioner Rosado.
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Commissioner Younger.
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
Chairman Hopkins.
Yes. Thank you. All right, moving on. 12, Commissioner comments. Commissioner Rosado.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for everybody who came here today, especially those who gave their reports. Very informative, very well thought out and planned out. So you thank your staff for doing that. I, for one, appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'm sure the citizens appreciate it. I'm the chairman of the road commission, Eric. I want to say the best of luck to you in the future. Thank you for all you've done for the road commission over your years in public service for the rest of the county. And then one last thing on a sad note, I'd like to, I don't know if you would say anything, but I'd like to just make deepest condolences to the family of our employee at the transportation department. It was sad to hear that, and unfortunate. And, I guess that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you. Commissioner Conklin.
Just, I was really pleased with all the reports we had, that's all, thank you for those, and good luck, and whatever endeavors you do next, so. And also just remember, school started in most of our communities, so just watch out for those little kids.
Thank you. Commissioner Young.
Thank you for coming. Welcome back, John. And it was made aware to us that tonight is Commissioner Schaefer's birthday. So I was asked to be a little happy birthday, so I'll start. So if you all would join me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Commissioner Schaefer. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
This doesn't roll around again this way. Thank you.
Everybody's putting it in their calendar, Rick.
Uh-oh.
I think this is a big one too, isn't it, Rick?
71.
That was 71.
We weren't going to say anything.
All right.
Don't put numbers down.
It's like both Schaefer's got embarrassed today.
Commissioner Schaefer, do you have any comments?
Yeah, just a couple, and much of which echoes the sentiments of my fellow commissioners, especially to the Transportation Authority that lost Beatrice there. That affects the whole organization. I mean, that's a small organization. Yeah, so that's very appropriate. Thank you for mentioning that. And the other thing that we sometimes don't give a lot of credit to, but I certainly appreciate, and that's our law enforcement that joins us at each commission meeting. We live in a crazy world, as we all know, and it's just really nice to know that there's folks that are available to help all of us should a situation arise. And then I was really quite touched. Maybe you can't see our annual report from here, but right in the very forefront is our Veterans Memorial. And that is attributed to, and Commissioner Bibas will remember, our dear Commissioner friend Mike Sutter, that sat on this board for many years. Mike had a dear friend from the Mendon area, may have even been related to you, Rusty. His name was Rustin Baker, that's right. Rustin. So what happens when you get senior loan?
71, huh?
Yeah, what happens, let me tell you. So anyway, Rustin played football with Mike Sutter, and Mike had a real passion for veterans. And he always said we need to do something more insightful to honor our veterans. And so over a period of maybe 2 to 3 years, Mike went all over to the various veterans organizations here in our county, and he raised money for this tribute to all of our veterans. And if you haven't had a chance, take a walk out there sometime. You'll see that the tribute is designated individually by members that served by individual wars that lost their lives. So it's very fitting that we have this here. And it's quite ironic that Commissioner Sutter just passed away about 3 weeks ago. So I know his family would appreciate to see this being right on the very front page of our strategic plan since Mike worked so hard to make it happen. So anyway, I just was kind of touched by that piece of history.
Thank you for that.
That's all.
Very important. Thank you. Commissioner Malone.
Thank you. Allison, I'd like to tell you I appreciate the fact that you had the job of herding cats. When going through the strategic process, you made it very personal, you made it very pleasant to work through, and I really do appreciate the work that was put in by yourself, working with staff to get us to this point. So it's greatly appreciated. Eric, I appreciate your many years of service to the community. You're not off the hook, which is why we let Aaron know you're heavily on the radar now. Brandy and all vacancies she goes up with, so we'll keep you busy since you have all this time on your hands now. On it, John, welcome back to the Road Commission. I know you've served us well in the past, and we look forward to that in the future as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Baker.
Thank you, Eric, for your time. You will be missed. Thank you, John, for coming back. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, just to wrap up the meeting, I do appreciate everyone coming. I appreciate the presentations. I do appreciate all that Eric Schaefer has contributed to our community. We appreciate it very much. John, we look forward to having you back. I talked to John Lindsay and John Pippis a little bit before this, and really said the Road Commission's mandate is to stay out of the papers, right? That's what we want. And we appreciate all that you've done. You guys are doing a great job over there, and we appreciate what you're doing. So, also to the Taylor family, that was a tragic loss in the community. They do have Beatrice had children that go to the Three Rivers Community Schools. Bless United Way and Kelly Hostetler, they're always there to come alongside families that are kind of hurting. They set up a catastrophic fund for the kids. I highly encourage everybody to visit the United Way's website. They're all over social media, so it's very easy to give. And I encourage everybody to do so and keep those kids in mind when you do it because it's a big deal. This is why we live in St. Joseph County. We come beside other community members and make sure that we see them and that they feel loved in a horrible time. So, to all those who have contributed, we appreciate it. And yeah, so hopefully we carry on. So, thank you all for your time. We have a motion to go into closed session.
I move that we enter closed session pursuant to NCL 15.268E to discuss litigation and settlement strategies in the matter of Pruitt Taylor versus St. Joe County. Case number 04-472 NI, pending in the Kalamazoo County Circuit Court because discussion is an open session will be detrimental to the financial effect of litigation on the agency.
We have a motion by Commissioner Baker, second